everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel and welcome to today's video, which is my 31-week pregnancy update video. I'm so glad you can join me for this one, and I hope you've watched all of my other ones because I've been doing one every single week, and now we are at 31 weeks and I have 9 weeks to go, which is gonna go like that because this whole entire pregnancy has gone like that. If you're new here, lovely to meet you. My name is Rebecca. I am already a mum of 4, soon to be a mum of 5. I have a 17-year-old teenager, almost 3-year-old toddler twins, and an 18-month-old toddler. So it's very, very busy in our house, and we're just going to add to the mayhem by having another baby. I'm also 42 years old, so I'm a bit of an older mum. I've been doing this mumness for a while now, so yeah, I've got 17 years of experience under my belt. Anyway, this week has been an unexpected week. Right, let me explain what I mean by that. So I've been pretty busy. I've had a midwife appointment, I've had a consultant visit and scan, and I've also had a trip to the hospital. So let me start off with the hospital visit first. Story time. Let's set the scene. It's about 8:30 in the morning. Me and Rhys are sat on our sofa with all the kids. You know, it's a bit mayhem. And I say to him, I feel like this Braxton Hicks thing that I'm having, because I've been having them for like a couple of weeks or something now. I said, oh, it feels a bit strong, like a period pain. But then I just thought nothing of it. A bit later on, like an hour later, I guess, I had the same thing, which it kind of stopped me in my tracks, and I thought, is this something that I need to be worried about? Should I keep an eye on it? So obviously I kept an eye on it. And then Rhys was going out with his business partners in the afternoon, because he meets up with them every now and again. Anyway, so I didn't really want to stop him from going and, you know, have any false alarms ringing about. So I just, you know, wished him on his merry way, and off he went, because he really does work hard. He is, do you know, I don't think I've ever really spoke much about Rhys. Rhys has his own business, well, with a few other guys, and he is a self-employed mortgage advisor. So a little bit of a plug here for him. If you oh my goodness, if you need any help with your mortgage or remortgage or life insurance, contact him. He will help you. And if you tell him that you found him through my video, I'm sure he will be really, really happy about that. So what I'll do is I'll leave his details in the description box below. Anyway, massive plug for him there. I'm sure he'll be happy with that. But anyway, let me get back to the story. So off Rhys goes, off on his jolly out with his work colleagues. And there's me, I'm at home with the kids, things are going fine. And then my mum popped round because I needed to pop out, and I'm walking across the garage forecourt because I got a post a parcel, and that's when it hit me. It felt like a contraction, and I was thinking, oh my goodness, this is far too early. And I literally, tears came to my eyes. I thought, no, I can't even talk. Thinking about it really upsets me. I thought, this can't happen right now. So I looked at my watch, and it was 5:15. And I went in, I posted the parcel, and I come back out, and then I rang my auntie and I told her what happened. And literally 10 minutes after it first happened, it happened again. And she was starting to get a bit concerned. She said, look, if this carries on, you're gonna have to ring your midwife. So I thought, okay, yeah, I'll have to ring my midwife if it carries on. So I got home and my mum's like, you're okay? And I'm like, oh no, Mum. I was telling her how I was feeling. So she was like, oh, this isn't good. And then I had another one. It was like every 10 minutes, and it was lasting for about 30 seconds. Now, it wasn't like a proper full-on contraction, but it was like a really strong period pain. And I've had Braxton Hicks with my other pregnancies, so I know what they feel like. And I've already been experiencing some already. So to get this, it really did worry me. Anyway, I didn't ring Rhys because I didn't want to bother him. I didn't want him to have to come home early just in case it was all a bunch of nothing. My mum had to go home and my dad rang me up all worried. And I said, well, things haven't really changed right now, so I'm just gonna play it by ear, see how it goes. And it got to about, I think it was 10 to 8. I rang my midwife and I said, this is happening. And she said, oh my goodness, you have to come in. I thought, oh my goodness, okay. So she told me to pack an overnight bag just in case I had to stay in. So I was like rushing around thinking, what do I take? I have absolutely nothing ready to take to the hospital for me or the baby. If the baby was coming along at that point, I had nothing packed. Absolutely nothing. And then it dawned on me, I thought, well, I wouldn't be bringing it home anyway, would I? Because it's been born so young, it would have to have a long stay in the neonatal unit. But anyway, there's me waffling on. So I rang up my mum, she came straight over and I thought, right, now I've got to ring Rhys and ruin his evening. So I rang Rhys and he was like, what? Oh my goodness. Okay, I will meet you there. So he was actually in Bristol. So he had to get the train to come and meet me, and then I had to pick him up along the way. Luckily it was along the way. We went to the hospital and they saw me pretty quick. They strapped me up to a machine and they were tracing the baby's heart rate and also tracing any Braxton Hicks or contractions that I was having. So I was strapped up to that for a while. Thankfully, everything started to calm down about half an hour or so before I got there. And I said to her, things have started to calm down. It's not like what it was earlier on when I first started experiencing it, because that was every 10 minutes and it started to fade off. So she was totally happy that the baby was completely happy. Its heart rate was great and the contractions that I was feeling were nowhere near as like strong with pain like it was before. I've still got them. They were just really, really strong Braxton Hicks. And she did some other tests. They can test to see if you're going into labour anytime soon. And thankfully it all come back negative. No baby on the way. And after a good couple of hours and a discussion with the doctor, they sent me home. But she did say to me, don't leave it so long next time. So I'd like to say this to any of you guys, if you're experiencing anything like this, if you're worried, even if you think you're wasting people's time, like I do, I have that guilt running through me that I'm wasting people's time. You are not wasting anybody's time at all. That's why they're there. They're there to help us. And she said to me, if you're at home, I can't help you. If you're here, I can help you. So she said everything might be all fine now, all calmed down and everything, but if it starts up again, it doesn't matter what time of day or night, please ring us and then you can come back in so we can check just in case, because it might be that your baby's on the way. So yeah, long story, massive great big story squeezed into probably 5 minutes, something like that. So yes, that is my story time of my hospital visit this week. That's my dog snoring, if you can hear any snorty noises. Okay, so I also had my midwife visit. So I went to see my midwife. We just did the old general checks of how big my bump is, because they can measure from the top of your bump down to your pubic bone and when you're led down, and they measure that in centimetres, and it's usually the equivalent of how many weeks you are. Now I was measuring about a week and a half behind, but that's fine. I was always measuring a good couple of weeks behind when I had Summer, my eldest. Blood pressure's fine, everything. We just had another chat about the upcoming birth and my birthing plan, and she knew that I didn't really have much of a conversation with my consultant last time I saw him, so she's hoping that I will be seeing somebody at the hospital very soon to have a full-on extensive birth plan, if anyone's going to have the time to read it, which I hope they do. And she was also giving me some really good things to ask and to say to the consultant that I will be meeting with. So that was my midwife visit. It wasn't very much. It was just a quick chat about birth plan and listened into the baby as well. And then the next day we went to the specialist baby hospital. Now this was to discuss about having an amniocentesis. Also, I was having a growth scan for the baby as well. So if you've seen my earlier videos, you will know that we came up as a low, high risk, I think that's probably the easiest way to say it, for having a baby with Down syndrome. Now, we haven't had any further testing as of yet, but they have offered me an amniocentesis after 34 weeks, so it wouldn't be a risk of miscarriage if the baby was born early. It would just be a preterm birth. Now, we were thinking that's actually pretty close to when the baby's going to be born anyway, and we've been thinking about it for such a long time now because we got this news ages ago. It's like, it's not going to come as a big shock to us, and we wanted to be prepared. That was our main thing, was to know whether or not this was going to be the case. So if it was and we had some tests and it come back positive, that we would be prepared for this baby to give it the best life possible. We decided to not have the test done anymore, and what will be will be. So that's how we've left it for now. If the baby does have Down syndrome, we will find out at birth, and that will be that. We will just continue with the rest of our lives and love and bring up this baby the very best that we can. Anyway, after that conversation, I had a scan. Now they want to do a growth scan on the baby. So there I am, led there on this hospital couch. She's scanning away and she keeps having to redo the head measurements. So I'm thinking, what's going on with the baby's head? Anyway, turns out the baby has quite a big head and a largest tummy. The legs are on the 50th centile. The tummy's a bit bigger, but the head is measuring pretty big. I think she said 94th centile. She said that might impact what type of birth I have as well. So I'm hoping it was just the baby's angle, because baby was head down at this point. So I'm just hoping that's all it was to do with that, and there's nothing else going on. I have to go back anyway 4 weeks from then for another growth scan, so I want to check and have a good look over at the baby. But I said to her, it's really weird that you should say that it's looking quite big, you know, big head, bigger tummy, but normal legs, because my bump is actually measuring small. So, you know, go figure. Yeah, so as I said, I have had one busy old week. That was 3 days worth of excitement in 1 week. But like I do on every single video, let's have a look to see how big and how heavy this baby is right now on my trusty app, which I look at every single week. So my baby is resembling a coconut. It is 41.1 centimeters long and weighing 1.5 kilos. I don't know what that is in pounds and ounces. I'm sorry, I wish I did, because I much prefer working in that. But let me show you this. This is one of my favorite things. You get to see what the baby would look like inside you, and goodness me, it is looking pretty big. And I tell you something now, my tummy is not that flat. It has grown huge. I feel huge. So I just had a quick look, and it does say here about back pain. I'm getting back pain. I am getting pain in my bum cheek. I have done for a while. I have started to see a physiotherapist who can only do so much with me as I'm pregnant, but she has referred me to see her again for some acupuncture, which will be starting soon. So I've never had that before, ever, for anything. So I'm actually quite looking forward to it. It doesn't last very long, and hopefully it will offer me some relief. Okay, as we're talking about symptoms of pregnancy, I am still getting heartburn. I take Gaviscon now, usually after my evening meal and before I go to bed, basically, because that's when it affects me the most. Sometimes at lunchtime. I don't think I've ever needed any like during the day anyway. not at breakfast time. I don't eat a massive amount of food. I'm still getting the horrible ligament pain around my stomach, which isn't ligament pain, I don't think. I think they said it's something to do with my stomach muscles, but this was a nice one. I had it both sides the other day. Both sides of my bump were like spasming and it was horrible. I hope you don't have it. It's really, really uncomfortable and pretty nasty. I'm finding my pregnancy wedge really, really useful, and I also have a V pillow. Oh, there's my V pillow to hand. I have one side of me and one the other side of me. So when I am facing one way in bed, I will use that one, and if I roll over, I then have the other one, usually my wedge on the inside of my bed, just because it's smaller. I will link those items in my description box below. So I'll link the V pillow, the wedge, and the Gaviscon if you needed it. I am still taking my Pregnacare tablets. I've been feeling pretty hormonal recently, where I get really teary about the most ridiculous things ever. I absolutely love on the TV watching Call the Midwife. I know it's not out right now, but I watched old episodes. I cry at the opening music. I kid you not. I can't help it. Every time it comes on, and then, yeah, there's me. I'm crying myself. It's ridiculous. I love Call the Midwife, and it doesn't make me sad. I think it's just because of what it's about. It just makes me go. And I remember watching it back before we had the twins, before we got pregnant, because we struggled for ages, and I think that's probably what it is. It's just bringing up those old memories of me watching it thinking, why can't I have another one? Because Summer was so much older. I had her years and years ago. Anyway, I don't want to bring everyone down about that. That's just me and my hormonal way. So that's some good things. My hair's getting thicker. They say your hair doesn't fall out in pregnancy, and it's not. It's actually staying in there. But like with all my other pregnancies, after a month or so, that hair that would have fallen out starts to fall out, and then a little bit later you can see the regrowth, and I have little tufts sticking up all over my head, and that's actually all over your head. You'll have little tufty bits of hair. Baby is moving so much more now. It's really, really active. And I actually said to the midwife when I went to the hospital the other day about those contraction feelings, I said, the baby has never been this active. Like, it was going really wild. And that's also what worried me as well. Like, it was just so active. And they were like, oh, don't worry about that. That bit's fine. It was more the pain that I was getting. It's actually moving right now. You're saying hello. That is pretty much it for my 31-week update. I really hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to give me a great big thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed, I would love it if you did, and then you can watch all of my other pregnancy videos and everything that's to come. I'm going to be doing a surviving the trimesters videos. That's going to be coming up very, very soon. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Have a lovely week. Take care. Bye bye.